Hi loves, it's your favorite. Today is February 17th, 2020 and it's a Monday. I am on the side of the freeway, the I80 westbound. I'm taking a load to Utah, which is the very next state. I have 450 miles left and 400 of those miles more or less is going to be in Wyoming on the I-80, and that road is closed. So guess who's not doing their delivery today? The truck is shaking. That's how windy it is. That's one of the reasons the road is closed. The time right now is 11 in the morning. And so I drove from, initially this load I picked up in Pennsylvania. So I delivered a load in Pennsylvania, drove 30 miles to Hershey's, where I picked up this load on Valentine's Day. So that was 3 days ago, because 14th, 17th. I picked up this load, everything went great. I was like, okay, I have a little over 20,000 miles to drive to my delivery point, and they gave me enough time, like I don't know, from the 14th. My delivery date is the 19th. Yeah, it's the 19th. Oh well, I guess I still have time. And I was like, okay, our week at my job ends on Sunday, so whenever they give me a load, they always try and give me a load for the weekend, I guess, so that my driver manager doesn't have to worry about me sitting and twiddling my thumbs while he's enjoying his weekend. So even if I didn't have much work during the week, guaranteed I'll be driving on the weekend. Anyway, it doesn't bother me. For me, it's neither here nor there. So I always try and do a lot of that driving by Sunday, so that when I do get paid for that week that ended on a Sunday, all the miles are in there, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do the following week. So I was like, okay, 14th, because I had already done a delivery that morning and I had to drive to do a pickup, and then you have to go to the scale and scale your load and blah blah blah, all those little things that you do, they take time from what you're driving. So by the time you actually driving towards your destination, you don't have as much time as you would have had. Obviously, this is all obvious, right? So yeah, by the time I was done with scaling my load and whatever, it was kind of late. I don't like to drive it like at night. So the first day I drove total of about 450 miles total. Yeah, which was great, because when I started, that would be what I would, like on a good day I would do 450 miles. That's a very good day. Otherwise I was doing like 450 miles. The following day was Saturday, so now I got Saturday and Sunday to push for this check. Right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can do 600 miles on both days. So I drive and drive, and I got like 560 something miles covered on Saturday. The end of the day, I was feeling good. I stopped when I wanted to. I found a truck stop right when I was like, maybe in the next 30 miles I can pull up. I found a place right there. Everything was perfect, and I was looking for somewhere where I have points so I can get a free shower the following morning. Everything worked out great. I'm lucky when it comes to that kind of stuff. Anyway, following day was Sunday. That was yesterday. So I was like, let's see if I can do 600 miles. It's always easy to say I intend to blah 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 in the future, but when it comes time to actually do it, that's a whole another conversation. Am I right? So I was like, all right, let's get on the road. I tried to sleep as much as possible and blah blah blah. Took a shower in the morning. I'm nice and fresh. It's cold AF. I mean, I'm talking about minus 13 degrees Celsius. That's about, I think, about 8 degrees Fahrenheit. For me, that's cold. It's like one of the coldest days I've experienced, for me. I know people talk about, you know, 39 below Fahrenheit. I don't know, that must be like minus 100 degrees Celsius. I don't know, I've never experienced that, and I'm okay with not experiencing it. I'm telling you, I drove yesterday until I started feeling tired. So I was like, okay, we need to pull over. I got lucky because the roads were not hectic. I love driving over weekends. I feel like it's not as busy on the road. I mean, you know, the freeways that we drive on in trucks, you're driving in the middle of nowhere. You're not driving in like the urban areas. By urban, I mean the urban that I know, not the American urban. When they say urban, they mean the black areas. I'm talking about urban areas where like the cities and stuff. So there's not a lot of traffic and stuff, really, thank goodness. So it wasn't like windy, it wasn't snowing, it was nothing. It was just great. So I drove and drove and then I was like, okay, we need to. At 500 miles, I was feeling it. I was feeling tired. Driving on average 665 miles per hour, and that is maybe 110 kilometers per hour. All of a sudden, I feel warm. Oh, it must be I just drank tea. So then I start looking. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna drive at least 50 more miles. That way, it's 550. Then I start looking, then I go to a rest, and then I drove right through Nebraska. Nebraska on I80 is about, it's about 400, maximum 420 miles. I'm not 100% sure, but it's my first time driving through. Usually I'll spend a night in Nebraska, like I'll drive from somewhere up until Nebraska or blah blah blah. So it was like, as soon as I entered Nebraska, I saw the mileage, I think it was 420 or whatever, and I thought, oh, I can do this, because when you go west, the mile markings go down. So if it's 420 and I'm going west, it means the next state is in 420 miles. So I was like, oh, this is exciting, because a lot of Nebraska, I don't have cell signaling. And I think just about all of Wyoming, I don't have cell signaling. But when I'm in Wyoming, I'm already close to Colorado or Utah, depending on where I'm going. So whatever, you know what I mean? So to cut a long story even longer, just before I passed the end of Nebraska, I was already looking for a truck stop. I don't have a CB radio, which is the two-way, I guess it's not a two-way because everybody is on that radio. The radio that people are using in the trucks and everybody's talking on it, there's a bunch of strangers, whatever. I don't have that. And like I said, I don't have cell signal. So I wasn't able, and usually my company will send us on the Qualcomm, or this is the Qualcomm. The company will normally tell us, okay, it's getting snowy, windy, blah, 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 weather conditions. I didn't get any of that. So I'm just driving in complete oblivion, which is my favorite state of mind. So like I said, I started looking for somewhere to park and there's nowhere. Like everywhere is overcrowded. This is around just before 5 p.m. because I start my days early, so that I end them early, then I can just pull up to park and blah blah blah. I'm telling you, a truck stop that had a rest area that has about 6 to 8 spots had about 20 trucks. I was like, I've been here before, and I found a spot. I needed to use the restroom then, so I'm like, huh, okay. So I keep going, and I'm looking at I keep getting signal every now and again. I think the wind blows the signal from whichever state, and I luckily get it. So I'm like, okay, so where's the next truck stop? And I'll see like a Pilot with 50 spots, and I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna work out. If this rest area here with 8 spots is 20, a Pilot, which is an actual truck stop, they're more in demand because of the services that they offer versus a rest area. So I was like, that's not even an option. We're not even gonna go there. And I'm like, where else? And then I see a TA, Travelers Association or whatever. Usually TAs have much more parking spaces. So I see a TA and I'm like, let's aim for this. And this is right at my 550 mark or whatever, I don't know. I get And I look at the TA and it says full, but it's not even 5 p.m. yet. And I'm thinking, what kind of alternate universe is this right now? And I look at the truck stop, just a random truck stop before it. It has 50 spots, it's full. The one after it, there's a Flying J pilot. This is probably like Greek to somebody, to some of you, but these are just names of truck stops that are popular. And I see a Flying J that has like 180 something spots. It says full. What? At 5? Normally like 5, 6, usually by 7 I'm already done. But some weekends, like Sundays, especially if it's somewhere I've been before, I'll go around 8 or whatever, because I kind of know the vibe. I'm telling you, I was like, what is going on? So I get to, my heart says to me, just go to the TA. Stick to the original plan. We'll figure it out when we get there. Maybe somebody will have left. All you need is one spot. One spot. You don't need, you know. So I get to, just before I get to TA, I look to my right, it's on the right, and I see trucks everywhere. So you get off the I80 onto some freeway, highway type service road, I don't know what these things are called, and on the side of that, it's trucks everywhere. And I'm like, ah, this is unusual. I'm telling you, la 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 la. I have no idea. Nothing is thinking at all to me. You know, I am a natural blonde, so there's that. I turn right. I'm like, this is gonna be interesting, but everybody's parking here because they're probably like, oh, if these people are parking here, maybe I should park here too. So I'm gonna go against the grain and go into the truck stop. Maybe I'll find one spot. I turn around and you can see that this is a truck stop, and you can see that there's people parked in places that people have been creative, and they created spots in areas that are not parking bays. So I was like, yeah, this is not, once I go in there, I'm gonna get myself in a very sticky situation. Let me not. I start sussing the situation out, the parking out, before I even get to a place that I'm gonna park it. So that you can, sometimes you can see from the freeway, oh, there's a spot right there. Even if it's one, all you need is one. So I'd already seen somewhere where it looked like I could be able to squeeze in, somewhere on the side of the street, down the street next to somebody's house where there are other trucks. So now I just passed the truck stop and I kept going. I'm telling you, it's trucks everywhere. It's around 6 p.m. At this point, I'm at 602 miles. I started looking at 500 miles. That's 160 kilometers, just looking kilograms. So I found a spot, and there was even somebody able to park on the other side of me, maybe somebody else on the other side, I don't know. But I'm very thankful for that. I found somewhere to park. And then last night, I had noticed that I was running out of fuel. Oh, this video is getting full. Maybe I'll do 2. I don't know. So when I was arriving, I realized that I'm running out of fuel. So I sent my company, can you please open me up to fuel at a TA right here?